welcome back to my channel. It's Sierra with Sierra's Crocheted Crafts. Today we're going to be making a true beginner's infinity scarf, and here are all the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need some scissors, a yarn needle, and you're going to want to find a yarn needle that has a large eye opening because we're going to be using some really big yarn. So the bigger that opening is, the better. You're going to be using a 10mm crochet hook and some size 6 super bulky yarn. So make sure on your label it says a 6 and it's super bulky. I'm going to be using for my finished scarf is this fun marble color from Lion brand. But to show you, I'm going to be using my blue yarn that I've used in previous videos. So those are the materials that you'll need. And if you missed my previous videos in my series, you can go ahead and check them out. I have how to chain and single crochet, how to half double crochet, and how to double crochet. You can click on those links and go watch those videos before we get started on the scarf. So today the stitches you will need to know are how to create a slip knot and chain, how to single crochet, how to half double crochet, and how to double crochet. So you'll need to know how to do all of those stitches, and again, if you need help, you can go to those links of my previous videos because I created an entire how-to beginners series for you guys. Once you've watched all the videos that you need to watch and you're ready to get started on the infinity scarf, grab your super 6 bulky yarn, your 10mm crochet hook, and we'll go ahead and jump right into it, guys. To show you the stitches and how we're going to be doing it, I'm going to go back to my trusty blue yarn. That way it shows up more easily for you. So we're going to go back to the very beginning, guys. We're going to start with a slip knot. Alright, next is we're going to chain 11. So yarn over, pull through, create that chain until you get 11. Alright, we have our 11 chains, and we are going to start our first row with single crochets. And again, if you need to see how to do a chain and single crochet, refer to this video. Alright, we're going to skip the first chain from our hook and put our single crochet into the second chain from our hook. That counts as our chain 1 for this row. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both stitches. That's your single crochet, remember? Alright, so we're going to be placing single crochets in each stitch, and you should have 10 single crochets at the end of your row. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So create a single crochet in each stitch, again making sure that you have 10 at the very end. And quick refresher for you guys to make sure that you're not missing that last stitch, that knot back there. Make sure you see that opening. You can see that there's a gap there. Make sure that you're placing that last stitch where it belongs. So there's our 10th and final single crochet, and this will count as your first row. Alright, to create our second row, we're going to yarn over, pull through, creating that chain 1, and we're going to turn, and we're going to be doing half double crochets in this row. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that very first stitch opening, yarn over, pull through, having 3 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through all 3. Alright, and we're going to be placing half double crochets in each stitch across, and you should also have 10 half double crochets. So for every row, every stitch that we're doing, there should be 10 of them in every row. So do not forget to count, to keep count, because we want our scarves to have straight edges, right? Okay, so just keep putting your half double crochets into your next stitch. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And don't forget your last stitch right here. You can see there's a gap. You can go back and count your stitches. Make sure that you're putting your last stitch where it belongs. Don't forget that last baby. Alright, create a half double crochet right there. Boom. You did it! So the first row is single crochet, our second row is half double crochet. Can anyone guess what our third row will be? That's right, double crochets. And if you watched my last video, you know that we are going to chain 2 for double crochet rows. So chain 2, turn your work, and we're going to be placing double crochets in all of our stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into that first stitch space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. Alright, into the next stitch. Alright guys, that's as simple as it gets. I wanted to incorporate all the stitches that we learned in the beginner's crochet series that I created for you guys here on YouTube. That way you can get good practice, and then you can actually make something that you can wear or give to someone as a gift. Alright, so we're coming up on the end. And again, you can see that gap there. You know that there's something missing. Count your stitches and make sure you place your double crochet in that last space. Alright. And that is what your first 3 rows will look like. And to keep going with the scarf, we're going to be repeating those same 3 rows. So for our 4th row will be single crochets. Our 5th row will be half double crochets. Our 6th row will be double crochets. You're just going to be repeating these 3 rows over and over again until you reach the length, because right now this is the width of our scarf, and each row is going to be creating the length of your scarf. And at the end, we're going to tie the ends together to make that pretty circle infinity scarf that we all love. So this is what your rows will look like, your first 3, and we're just going to keep on going. So let's go ahead and get started on our 4th row. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and put a single crochet in that first stitch. We're going to be single crocheting on this row. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So just single crochet in every stitch on this row. And once we get to the end, I just want to show you, because our last row was double crochets. So that chain 2 is kind of a little bulky, and it might look like there's 2 spaces, but just remember that's your beginning chain 2. It doesn't count as a stitch. And this is where counting your stitches comes in handy. So you count, you realize you have 9 stitches, so you know there is only 1 left. So that can get confusing because it does stick out a little bit more than the end, so it's not perfectly straight, but just keep that in mind and remember to always count your stitches. Alright, and so there is our repeat of our single crochet row. So now we're going to move on to our half double crochet row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to create half double crochets for this row. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Right? So half double crochet in every stitch till the end. And here is our half double crochet row finished. So we have a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and then we restart. Single crochet, half double crochet. So now we're going to move on to our double crochet row. We're going to chain 2 and turn and create a double crochet in each stitch. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to double crochet in every stitch across. Again, Counting stitches is very important so you have straight edges. So just make sure you're keeping count and placing a stitch in every opening. Alright, we're at the end, and you can see again there's that gap, so you know that you're at the end, but you also need to put one last stitch. Count those double crochets and put your 10th double crochet right there in that last space, if we can get in there. There we go, how to wiggle my way into that one. Alright, there you go. And as you can see, the edges are fairly straight. We have a little bit hanging out from the double crochet rows, and that's normal just because we're having to chain 2 instead of chain 1. But that is how it should be looking for you guys. You can see there's a lot of fun texture going on, and you get to practice all the stitches that you learned in my beginner series. So I hope you're enjoying it, and like I said, you're just going to keep going. So we're going to do a single crochet row, a half double crochet row, and a double crochet row. And you're just going to repeat those 3 rows until you have reached the length that you like. If you're wondering how to attach your next ball of yarn to your project, so once you get to a point where you run out of your yarn and you have a bit of a tail left like this, you are going to need to attach your other yarn. And some people, you can just knot it like this if you want to. It's not preferred, but you can just knot it like that. It's just not very secure. So I'm going to show you what's called the magic knot method, and this is what I recommend you do for adding the same color yarn to your project when you run out of the first ball. So we will go ahead, I'm just going to use 2 different colors just so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to make a circle and make sure it's going in a circle, and then your tail's underneath the main part. So this is your main part. Make sure that tail is going underneath like so. And it looks like a little E. And you're going to take your other end of yarn and you're going to insert it underneath that circle. Bring it through. Pull it around and go under that tail. I'm going to take it and put it up through the loop, like so. And if you look at it now, it kind of looks like a twisted pretzel. And what you're going to do is take both tails and both sides of the yarn, and you're going to pull really tight. And that is your magic knot. And then you can take your scissors and cut the ends, these tails off. You can cut those off as close to the base as you can. Just make sure not to cut that knot. So right about here you can cut it and it'll be very secure. We are back. I am finished with my scarf. I made as many rows as I wanted to make it the length that I wanted, and I used 2 full balls of my Woolies Thick and Quick. So I used 2 of these, which equals, they're both 87 yards each. So I just used 2 to make it so I could wrap it around my neck twice. And you can make it so you just wrap it around once, so it's just like a little cowl. Honestly, whatever you prefer, you can make it any length that you want. You can just go ahead and wrap it around your neck and see if it's the length that you want. So that's easy peasy way. This is a super simple scarf. You can make it how you want it to fit however your style is. So now I'm just going to show you how we are going to sew up the ends so you can make the infinity scarf. If you just want a regular scarf, you can keep it as is, but I will show you how to sew the ends together to make that infinity scarf. So first thing that you're going to want to do is at the end of your row, whatever row you decide to stop on, it doesn't matter if it's a single crochet, half double crochet, or double crochet row. I just ended because I ran out of yarn and it was already the length that I wanted. So what I want you to do is you're going to have a loop on your hook like this. I already single crocheted, sorry. So you'll have a loop like you're ready to do the next row, just chain one, but go ahead and pull the rest of your yarn tail through that loop to create a knot, and just tug on it to create a knot to end your project. And my tail is a little bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it down just a little bit. And make sure you have, I would say, about a 12-inch tail so that you have a good amount to work with, because you're just going to need to sew in those 10 stitches. So this width is all you're going to need. So next part is we're going to be using the yarn needle that I mentioned in the beginning. And if your opening is a little, your eye opening is a little small and your yarn won't fit through, I'll show you the trick that I use. I use the yarn label that I normally just throw away, and I take my scissors and I cut a rectangle like so, and then I just fold this piece of paper, I just fold it in half. Let me focus it, there we go. Right, so I just fold it in half and make sure that that edge is nice and straight, and then I take my yarn that I'm going to be threading through the needle, and I just open this up, put my yarn in there like a little hot dog, and then I pull the end so that there's like no yarn coming out of it. Smash it down as flat as possible and take your yarn needle and push it through like that. And voila! Makes things go a lot smoother than having to fiddle with threading this really bulky yarn through a smaller eye. So that's a little trick for you guys. And now that we have it on our needle, we are going to make sure that the scarf isn't twisted like this. You want to make sure that it's flat, and you're going to meet both ends so they're even with each other. So once they're even with each other, my tail is at this end, so this is gonna turn my work so I can work from right to left. And this is just called a whip stitch. It's pretty much what I use to sew everything together. It's super fast and easy. You take your yarn needle right through the top and pull your yarn, and go back to the same side and go through all of those stitches. So the top two on this side and the top two on that side, make sure they're going through both sides, and again just pulling, and it'll make a little loop, as you can see, across the top, but it's really not noticeable, especially in the scarf, because it's going to be wrapped around your neck. No one will ever see it. So you just keep doing that in every stitch, going through both sides and pulling, going back to the same side, going through both and pulling, and that's all it is. That's a whip stitch, and that's what you'll do to sew together the ends of your scarf to make it an infinity scarf. Alright, so just keep doing that until we get to the end. Alright, and once you have reached the end, you might have your tail from when you first started your slip knot. So this would be an end that you have to weave in, so I'll show you how to do that as well. We've successfully slip stitched both ends together, and that's how it will look for you. And what I like to do is just make a knot. So I create a circle, I put my yarn needle through and just pull up to create a little knot at the end to secure my weave in parts that I just did, and then I keep it on the needle, and I'm going to actually cut this down so it's a smaller tail so I don't have too much to weave in. I'm just going to pull it down and cut. Sorry about that loud bang. I dropped my scissors on the table, but here we go. Well, this is going to be considered weaving in your ends, so these two ends need to be weaved into our work so they're hidden and also secured. So what I like to do is I like to go in through my stitches in one direction, pull it through, and then go in another direction. Pull through, go another direction, pull through. Just keep going different directions. That will secure it, and it'll also hide it pretty well. And once you reach a point where you've gone in 3 or 4 different directions, you can pull out your yarn from your needle, wiggle your yarn a little bit, and you will go ahead and cut this tail just like that. And now it is hidden and secured. And you're also going to do the same thing for any other ends that you might have. And again, you can use your little paper that you cut and folded up earlier to thread your yarn again through your needle. And now you've done it. You've finished your first crochet project. How excited are you? Congratulations, guys. I hope that you are in love with it. I hope it's nice and cozy for you. And as you can see, it's all attached to a nice circle / infinity scarf. You can wrap it around twice and throw it over your head, and you have this lovely scarf to keep you nice and warm. And that's how it will look for you guys. And if you did a shorter one and it just wraps around once like a little cow, either way you did it, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was easy for you to work up. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you were successful in making your own infinity scarf just like this one. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would love to see more of my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you have any comments or questions, or if you just want to share your experience with me, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. I would love to read them. And also, if you'd love to follow me along on Instagram, my Instagram is @SierrasCrochetedCrafts. I would love to see you on there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys.